the reality of this is we don't necessarily know what the best way to create changes. And a lot of people will use the excuse of, oh, well, we just don't know what the answer is. So I'd like to see athletes start investing in things that they believe can have a solution. You're not going to see the change overnight. Shit doesn't change overnight. But in a year or two, we can then evaluate, hey, this donation that was made to this organization that wanted to foster this change in this political area, did that increase or decrease the number of discrimination police crimes in that area?
Reporting live from the other side of America. Mama let me sip the 40, I was just a shorty. Damn. Then I started spitting garlic, and they said record me. Man. I feel like this was for me, this my story. Facts. Yeah, jump out the porch, I got a Porsche, no take it back. I'm on the block with the killers and my own, of course, yeah. I see my mom and dad separate, ain't talking divorce. Said daddy was living by the fire, and he died by the torch. I'm where the AKs is, we like the baby kids. Ain't ever daddy, I listen to suckers the same way that Ray did. I'm telling Smithers and HKs, and I just was a grade 8 kid. Ain't on no guy, and we grew up with hitters and did everything they said. Point out the block, we spinning that. Running the spot, we getting that.
Two special guests with us today. We have Chris Markowitz and Paul Nigro. This getting a broader perspective of everything that's going on in the world today. You still have your co-hosts with me, Lee Datz, Terrence Lewis, and Daniel Corbett. So today we're going to get right into it. I just want to give a special thanks for these two guys to come along and be with us today. So we're going to get right into it. So this past week we had so many social changes in the world with the George Floyd and how many protests has coming up and things like that. And you had sports figures speaking about all these protests and Richard Sherman to the Russell Westbrook. We have Malcolm Jenkins, Russell Wilson. No, Russell Westbrook too. He was actually out there today, Lee. So I just want to get you guys' thoughts on how can the sports continue to broaden the conversation and that change within ourselves and within the community, and this in general, this, as us being a people as one. We're going to let our guests go first today. So, Chris, let me get your thoughts on this.
Yeah, so I think, first of all, thank you guys for having me today. It's an honor and a privilege to be on this show. I've been looking forward to this. And I'll start by saying I think that with all these issues being so pressing, what I like is that athletes are actually taking a stance on this, right? And this is something that we've seen, in the past couple of years. It started with Colin Kaepernick, but you're really seeing a lot of athletes speak out, a lot of guys who haven't spoken out in the past, right? And what athletes are starting to realize is the power they have. Typical media outlets are starting to lose their power over like the common man in America, the common people, because Instagram, social media, the followings of millions of people of these individual athletes are bigger than CNN and Fox News and NBC. Nobody's going to Fox or NBC for their thoughts on this. They're going to these Instagram accounts. And if these athletes can take ownership of what their brand is and start to market that and forget what this Laura Ingram who keeps, she is ridiculous on Fox. My God, telling LeBron to shut up and dribble and saying Drew Brees is cool. Like, no, the athletes can control the narrative now. And they're realizing that. They're realizing it through the protests. And I hope that going forward on social media, they're not scared to post what their true feelings are so we can have a dialogue.
Okay, nice. Lee, let me get your thoughts on this.
For me, I agree. I think that we see when players and when athletes come together and they do, even a commercial that they put together, really speaks volumes to what we need in this community, in the Black community. And it speaks to how much of a presence and how much they can help spread it across the country. We see how fast this spreads and how they affect the social media. And even when they come on and then they get other people to, it's a complete and utter, it's an utter just focus on just fixing what they know isn't right and the injustice that needs to be fixed inside the world.
Okay. Dan, so I like that you said that, Lee. I just want to get a little feedback on that. Just not even in the country, I believe I've seen protests throughout the whole world now. We have in the Philippines and Italy, and I just love that it's starting to be a bigger change in the world. Dan, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm going to go with around the same lines. But not just the players. I would love to see the coaches speak out, because at the end of the day, the players do play for the coaches. You see a lot of coaches. Well, I'm not going to talk. Well, I'm going to talk about the NFL, but I'm also go through it with college too. Like, college coaches recruit crazy, and they recruit heavy. They always come to the parents and say, "We love your kid. We see something in your kid. We want your kid. We're going to treat your kid like he's one of ours." And when you say that, you expect for something like especially something that happened this week, and something as important and as tragic, but it needs to be out there and it needs support. You expect somebody that says, "Okay, I got your back," to have your back. So I feel like not just the players, but the coaches definitely have to step up, and they should speak not for the players, but with the players, and just the higher ups as well.
Yeah, for sure. I believe that with the players standing up and talking, I believe that owners, and coaches, and also GMs, these are all people in the front office that put these teams together and put everybody together. So this is all one at the end of the day. So they should also be in the front lines with the players, with the coach. I believe San Fran coach, he spoke about it. I believe he had some wise words, and I like everything he had to say about all the social injustice. And Popovich, he also has always been a strong candidate for social injustice, and he always opened up the floor to any player to come talk to him. Bill Belichick said they had a players only meeting, and they didn't talk about football. They just talked about everything that's going on in the world today. So I believe certain coaches, they stepped up. I will also love the collegiate coaches to come up, because just like you said, Dan, these guys are heavy into the houses. When you see a top 5 recruit with a wide receiver going to Ohio State, you got a DN going to Clemson, you got a Louisville, you got Florida. You want these coaches that's in these guys' living rooms when they're 18 years old to say something, because at the end of the day, this can be your player too. Also, this could be one of your players that plays for you and on your field. You know what I'm saying? So, T, let me get your thoughts on this.
So my thoughts on this subject, I feel like sports are a way to bring people together, and athletes, especially the star athletes, they're some of the most powerful people in the world. I want to say more powerful than the politicians, or as important as them. And with Greg Popovich, him speaking out, him, a man of his stature, him being coach of the year multiple times, him coaching in San Antonio, and him showing like he supports the black community, he supports the Black Lives Matter movement. I feel like that's going to change some people's minds. It's going to open up their mind and allow them to try to see how he deals with these people on a daily basis.
Yeah, of course, because you got a guy like Greg Popovich, who is in Texas, where a lot of racism is happening in Texas, and he also spoke up about the camps being built along the border back a few years back. So I believe Popovich always has been a heavy advocate for the social injustices. Paul, let me get your thoughts on this.
Yeah, everything that's said so far, I really liked, and I agree with you guys that not only the coaches and the players need to speak out, but the owners, they got power. The GMs, they can all speak out and speak together. Sports are influential as a whole. So I think if they all get together and talk about this, people will listen more than, some politicians. I mean, we don't always hear what governors and stuff have to say, but, I've always listened to Steve Kerr. He's got some great points, and I would listen to him more than some of these other guys. I always, LeBron James, one of the biggest advocates. He's got a school. He's always doing stuff to better the community. I think they got a good platform to move forward.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of that, with the coaches and everything like that, and owners, I believe the LA Clippers, I would love, this guy is the most enthused sports fan ever. I would love for him just to get out and say something just about the topic. Maybe he might have did it behind closed doors, but these tough topics are something that we have to open up, because I don't think the world can get better yet, or we can't move forward until we actually open up and get these topics, get the talks going, because these talks are tough. It's tough to tell a white man that, when I'm walking down the street, I would see a couple move to the other side of the street. You know what I'm saying? It's tough when I'm a black young man. I drive BMW. I have got pulled over about 10 times since I got my BMW. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes and they always say routine check. There's no routine check. You see a black man in a BMW. I'm surprised. I have always had all legal papers and everything like that, so I never had got into a necessary forceful situation. But I don't want that to happen to me. I'm a lot of people's friend. I don't want that to never happen to me, and I don't want no social injustice to happen to any of my friends. You know, I'm actually proud that I have not had that happen to any of my friends yet that I know of personally. But I know police brutality happens around the world, and it has to stop. And we have to start with a change. You know, so just Lee, go ahead, give me some of your thoughts.
Yeah, I just think that I think we got to remember though, there's other ways. A lot of people may not speak out, and we have to respect that. But they may do it in other ways with donations and organizations and things like that. So I think GMs may go a different route because they have the money to do so, where they can help in other ways to support. Making awareness a focus point around the world.
Well, can I jump in here to add to that?
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
So, kind of your point there, Lee. I agree with you on especially like donating money to certain causes, because the reality of this is we don't necessarily know what the best way to create change is. And a lot of people will use the excuse of, oh, well, we just don't know what the answer is. So I'd like to see athletes start investing in things that they believe can have a solution. You're not going to see the change overnight. Shit doesn't change overnight. But in a year or two, we can then evaluate, hey, this donation that was made to this organization that wanted to foster this change in this political area, did that increase or decrease the number of discrimination police crimes in that area? You can have actual data on that. We have to start doing that to figure out, all right, this isn't going to happen overnight, but what are the best ways we can invest time and resources and best areas we can devote that to? Because there's always going to be the excuse of, well, we don't know what the solution is. So let's start like trying things. You know, if you're an athlete, start advocating for causes you believe in, because there's always going to be critics of your way of going about making that change. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Anytime that is down with change. And Lee, I'm glad that you broke up that point. I believe that Colin Kaepernick has on his Instagram page, which as another social media, Colin Kaepernick has that he's saving people from any protesters that got a lot arrested for being out there and protesting peacefully. He'll pay for all legal fees. So things like that. When you guys say that, I love that all you guys was on the same page with it. It's like players can use their social media to broaden their horizon and actually use their platform that they have to enforce change. I believe Lee had spoke earlier on the change of the commercial that the NFL players with Saquon Barkley, with D-Hop and other wide receivers and running backs around the league and DNs. I believe that all these things that they're doing are great. I believe that they're starting to feel like, yo, I can now finally use my platform to get heard. You know, for so long, Kaepernick wasn't heard. A lot of people feel like Kaepernick wasn't heard, but now other players are finally using their voice and using their mind to speak out on these situations that's happening around the world. So thanks for this this little segment here. Make sure you guys like and subscribe us.
I did want to add one thing there, Drew, and I want to say this on Kaepernick, because one of the segments we're not going to have time to get to was whether or not this is the right time for him to try to make a comeback. We're not going to get a chance to get to that, but I do want to say, First Amendment right, know the law, know what this country's founded to do. And the fact that Kaepernick had to go through what he's gone through for the last 4 years for doing what is a basic human right and the principle of America is a great example of how this has been. I'm sorry I dropped the F-bomb there. But, you know, this is a man doing the most American thing you could do, which is express freedom of speech. And to have been criticized for so long, I'm happy that he's finally getting the vindication that he's deserved for the last 4 years. Yeah, you see around the world, everyone's kneeling now for around the world. And I love that they're doing that. And I hope that Kaepernick, he did have a disclosed amount of money that he settled for, but I hope that he has to get the chance. Maybe not put aside the protest and stuff. Maybe just give Kaepernick a chance just to be a regular NFL quarterback in the National Football League. So once again, make sure you guys subscribe, like, and follow our YouTube page, our Facebook, and add us on Instagram. But thanks for coming.
You see some things that can't be told. I was told these roads was pure as gold. I never told, I never sold my soul. I just win at everything I do.